In the heart of an ancient forgotten temple deep within the Amazon rainforest, a group of overzealous archaeologists discovered a set of mysterious tablets. Each tablet bore the name and symbol of a demon long banished from the world. Their curiosity was their undoing. The moment they disturbed the tablets, the seals that had held these malevolent beings at bay for millennia shattered. The world was about to face its darkest hour. 1. Pazuzu, the demon of the wind. First to emerge was Pazuzu, the ancient Mesopotamian demon of the wind. The air turned thick and oppressive as a sinister wind began to howl through the city streets. This wind was not just a natural force, it carried with it an aura of malevolence that whispered into the minds of those it touched, driving them to madness. Wherever Pazuzu's wind blew, crops withered, animals became restless, and people succumbed to paranoia and despair. Even the strongest of minds found themselves plagued by nightmarish visions, as Pazuzu fed on their fears. So too, Asmodus, the demon of lust. Next came Asmodus, the demon of lust, who thrived on the corruption of pure love and desire. He appeared in the form of an impossibly beautiful figure, whose presence could ignite uncontrollable passions and desires. Relationships that had once been strong began to crumble as jealousy, infidelity, and obsession took root. Asmodus reveled in the chaos, whispering dark thoughts into the ears of lovers, twisting their hearts until they could no longer distinguish love from possession. Marriages ended in violence, friendships soured into bitter enmity, and entire communities were torn apart by his insidious influence. 3. Belphegor, the demon of sloth. Belphegor, the demon of sloth, crept into the world next. He did not cause destruction through violence or fear, but through apathy and indifference. His presence was like a heavy fog that settled over cities, draining the energy and willpower of those he encountered. People found themselves unable to muster the motivation to work, to create, or even to care. Productivity plummeted, and the world began to grind to a halt as Belphegor whispered of the futility of effort and the comfort of idleness. Slowly but surely, society started to collapse under the weight of its own lethargy. 4. Amon, the demon of wrath. The fourth demon to be unleashed was Amon, the Duke of Hell, a demon who embodied wrath. He fanned the flames of anger and conflict wherever he went. Minor disagreements escalated into full-blown wars as Amon fueled the fires of hatred. The streets became battlegrounds, and no one was safe from the bloodlust that Amon incited. He moved from place to place, leaving a trail of violence and destruction in his wake. Even the most peaceful of people found themselves gripped by a burning rage, eager to lash out at anyone and anything. 5. Lilith, the mother of demons. The final demon to rise was Lilith, the most ancient and feared of all. She was the first wife of Adam, cast out of Eden for her refusal to submit, and over the centuries she had become the mother of all demons. Lilith did not need to rely on subtlety. Her very presence brought death and despair. She was a harbinger of plague, spreading disease and sickness wherever she went. Children fell ill, crops withered, and the air became thick with the stench of decay. But it was not just physical illness she brought. Lilith also carried with her a deep, existential dread that settled into the hearts of all who saw her. A fear of the unknown and the inevitable that drove people to the brink of madness. As these 5 demons spread their terror across the globe, the world teetered on the brink of total collapse. But just as all hope seemed lost, a group of mystics and scholars, descendants of the ancient priests who had once bound these demons, came together. Using ancient rituals and knowledge passed down through the generations, they worked tirelessly to reforge the seals that had been broken one by one. The demons were confronted. Pazuzu was trapped within a cyclone of his own making, his wind no longer able to reach the minds of the living. Asmodus was lured into a false paradise, where his own desires were turned against him. Belphegor was bound in chains of pure willpower, forged by the determination of those who refused to succumb to his influence. Amon was tricked into a mirror, where his rage could only consume himself. And finally, Lilith was banished back into the void from which she came, her connection to the world severed once more.